With all of the scaling changes introduced as part of Title Update 8, more players are now attempting to push their builds up to heroic and legendary difficulty missions. And with this move up to the highest challenge levels, your builds will need to be specialized and fine-tuned to handle the highest difficulties the Division can throw at a squad. This includes not only changing up your playstyle, but min-maxing your build to the final few percentage points to give you and your squad the best chance of completion. What's going on, agents? It's LtBuzzLitebeer, and today I will be bringing you the first episode of a short series to help agents assemble and fine-tune their builds to handle heroic and legendary difficulty missions. But before I begin the build guide, if you haven't yet taken the time to smash the sub button, it would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to click on the bell icon to receive all notifications from my YouTube channel. And with that out of the way, let's begin. For any agent that has attempted to tackle the Black Tusk missions on heroic or legendary difficulty, you know just how annoying and punishing their tech can be. Swarms of drones, mini-tanks, and doggos can easily wipe you and your squad out in a matter of seconds, along with the Black Tusk medics and their near-invincible med stations, and the uber-tanky minigun heavies that are equipped with a bleed hive skill on legendary mode. Now, with all of that, you will want to assemble and use what is arguably the strongest and most valuable build for these difficulty levels, with that being the CC or crowd control build. This build is designed not to punish the Black Tusk with outright damage output, but more so to disrupt them by EMPing their skills and blinding them through the use of the Blinder Firefly. Because an enemy that is blind and cannot deploy its skills is rendered harmless. So let's get right into this crowd control build concept, and I've custom assembled this build around 2 pieces of Wyvern wear, 1 piece of hana-u, 1 piece of Golan gear, the exotic Acosta go bag, and a no-name holster, which I'll explain a bit later in the video. Now, besides the Acosta go bag and the no-name holster, you can put the remaining pieces together in whatever order you want. For my build, I found and recalibrated the Golan gear mask for the plus 10% status effects 1-piece bonus. Golan is really hard to find, as it always rolls with armor as the core attribute, so you'll have to find as close to the right piece in terms of attribute rolls as you'll have to use the recal on your core attribute from armor to skill tier. The 2 attributes you are looking for are status effects and skill haste. I finished off my mask with a skill haste mod, although you could also use a skill duration mod if you wanted. For the body armor, I used the first of my 2 Wyvern wear gear pieces, as what we really want is the 2-piece bonus of plus 10% status effects. Wyvern rolls with skill tier as the core attribute, so you are on the hunt for skill haste and status effects as the attribute rolls. Just like on the mask, I used a skill haste mod. Now for the talent, I went with Unbreakable, which really gives me some more survivability when I need to charge into a crowded area and get my skills up and running. Another possible body armor talent could be Overwatch if your playstyle is centered around hanging back with your squad and launching your skills from a distance. For the holster, I have custom crafted a no-name holster, as it does not award any gear bonus, but instead allows you to equip a utility mod. In addition, there is no other 1-piece bonus that really gives me more bang for the buck than this holster with status effects and skill haste along with a skill haste mod. Now, if you want to take this holster in another direction, you could use either 1 piece of Murakami or another piece of Wyvern to activate the 3-piece bonus. Both of these will grant your stats plus 20% skill duration. The Acosta go bag is an exotic gear piece that has so many perks for the skill build user. It comes with skill tier as the core attribute, along with skill haste and skill damage as the attribute rolls, although I would have preferred to have skill status effects instead of the skill damage. I also equipped another skill haste mod to finish off the backpack. Now, what makes the Acosta go bag so nice for this build is the collection of talents and attributes. If you damage an enemy with a grenade, it grants you a 1 skill tier bump for 15 seconds. And since we are going to be already up on skill tier 6, this will put us up on overcharge. Now, a little tip here, just throwing the grenade will cause the 1 in hand talent to proc. 2 in the bag is stacked with everything a skill build user could want, including 3 more grenades and plus 10% status effects, among other items. My hana-u gloves are god-rolled with maximum skill haste and status effects attribute rolls. I am using the one piece of hana-u for the 10% skill haste brand set bonus. My knee pads are the second piece of wyvern wear for the plus 10% status effects bonus, and I have once again sourced both status effects and skill haste as my attribute rolls. Now onto the weaponry, and since we are fully committed into skill tier and status effects, we aren't going to be pushing out much damage, and that is not what this build is all about. However, we do want to help out whenever possible, and that is why I would recommend a classic M1A rifle if at all possible. This rifle type pushes out heavy base damage, and for most players, like me, I am using the Baker's Dozen named rifle. Lucky Shot is not a bad weapon talent, but I would ideally want to find or craft a classic M1A with Perpetuation as the weapon talent, as it pairs perfectly with the status effect build. For my secondary, I'm going to shock a few viewers out there in that I use the Sweet Dreams exotic shotgun. And this is not for the damage output or damage to armor, but rather for the Sandman weapon talent that grants my agent an insta-kill melee hit on non-elite enemies, and I can use this every 15 seconds. Now the theory is that I use my Firefly drone to blind an entire mob, run out into the mob with the Sweet Dreams, and specifically target certain targets for the one-shot melee kill. I use this quite often to backrage an NPC that is pushing a wounded teammate, or to target the non-elite Black Tusk medics in a crowd and then get them out of the way quickly. Now on to the most important portion of this build, and those are the skills. As I mentioned before, I am using the Firefly drone that is at a skill tier 6, and this grants my Firefly extra targets, speed, and blind effect duration. Through my mods and the skill tier, my Firefly can target 10 targets, and most importantly has a blind duration of 23.5 seconds versus just a 20.9 second cooldown. And this means I can stay on 100% uptime and spam the Firefly over and over to constantly keep the Black Tusk targets blind and unable to attack. The second skill to equip is the Jammer Pulse, which like the Firefly is at the skill tier 6 level. The jammer overloads and disables hostile electronics and essentially reduces the Black Tusk tech to scrap and completely removes that facet from their arsenal. My pulse has a 14.6 second duration with just a 13.3 second cooldown and can stay up and activated in a chaining effect. Both of these skills are powerful by themselves at skill tier 6, but that is not nearly how strong they can truly be, as the overcharge effect for both of these skills is insane. Now because of the Acosta Go Bag, just for tossing a grenade, my Firefly gains even more targets, more speed to reach those targets, and nearly 80% more blind effect duration. For the Jammer Pulse, it essentially doubles the radius of effect, doubles the effect duration, and cuts the charge speed in half. Now the way I like to play this build is to push up and away from my teammates. Spam my jammer to block the Black Tusk tech from working or allow the operators to spam their skills, all the while targeting as many Black Tusk targets as possible with my Firefly to blind them for my teammates, several of whom are running glass cannon DPS builds, so they can melt them quickly and with little resistance. I try to add in a little damage with my rifle whenever possible and switch over to the Sweet Dreams when I have an opening and can land the insta-kill melee blow. Now, it all requires a lot of cooldown management and some frenetic skill and weapon swaps, but it is extremely useful and can make even legendary difficulty missions manageable. As always, I look forward to reading your thoughts, especially those concerning your crowd control build theories and stats, in the comment section below. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to my friend Macho for turning me onto this build, and I will leave a link in the video description to his Twitch and YouTube channels, as he is definitely worth a follow. If you haven't yet done so, please smash my channel sub button and click on the bell icon to receive all notifications from my channel. If you liked the video, rate it with a thumbs up, if not, with a thumbs down. If you feel like supporting me and my YouTube channel operations, please look in the video description for links to my Patreon page and Buzz Boutique merch store. Follow me on Twitter for all my latest thoughts concerning most things gaming related, with a heavy emphasis on the Division franchise. I am going to finish up this build guide with some highlights of me using this exact build, both on heroic and legendary missions. And until my next upload, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.
Vital signs critical. Agent down.
Tusk down! Blinded!